It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. I knew it was bound to happen. I recently had a student ask me the difference between a product backlog and a sprint backlog. Now, the obvious answer is that the product backlog is going to be a collection of items that the product owner puts together regarding a product or service that they need the team to build that's stacked in rank order based on the priority of the item, strategic value, based on the consumer awareness and need for the item, and based on the technological feasibility of creating that item. So, if that is what a product backlog is, then what is a sprint backlog? Who does it belong to, and how does it work? Well, the sprint backlog is one of the three official Scrum artifacts, just to get that out of the way. And the other two are the product backlog and the increment, right? So the sprint backlog is composed of just a few simple parts. So let's make sure we get all on the same page here. So the first thing that's in the sprint backlog, obviously, is an action plan for delivering your increment. Now, a lot of people like to break those out into tasks. They like to list out the tasks that they're going to do in order to achieve that, which I think is a great tool. It's a great technique, and it's a great way to go about making sure you're doing the right thing. Now, some people estimate those tasks with time using hours. Other people just put together a list of tasks that they can draw from. But the goal here is to make sure that the team has the tools that they need in order to be effective and in order for them to be able to visualize and internalize the work that needs to be done. Of course, that also incorporates the second piece, which is the set of product backlog items that are selected and allocated for that specific sprint. So this answers what work's going to be done in a sprint. This sets the mission. This sets the list of work that we need to accomplish. And then finally, with the latest updates to the Scrum Guide, we should also be very careful, and I've always incorporated a sprint goal. So this answers why the sprint is important and gives us a high-level overview of what we should be doing now. The truth is, this backlog belongs to the development team or to the implementers. These are the people who are accountable for making sure that we're doing the things necessary in that sprint, and it brings transparency to the work that we plan to deliver, right? So if you think about it, it's how the plan's going to be executed. So speaking of a sprint goal, it's if I had to define a sprint goal, because a lot of people ask me, what kind of things should I put in a sprint goal? Right out of the gate, I would say it should be a single objective. It's something that the team or group of people have committed to achieve as part of their sprint. It's there so that can reinforce accountability and empiricism and show how what we're trying to do maps and aligns with the Scrum values for the team and how what we're building is going to benefit the stakeholders. It helps the team stay focused and encourages them to collaborate and helps in flexibility of how the planned work is going to be implemented. So there's a lot in play there, right? But I think the key is that you should always be using the empirical approach to try to get things done. If you are frequently inspecting, making adjustments, pivoting, adapting, if you are utilizing sprint planning as a tool to make sure that you have a solid sprint backlog and using the daily stand up or the daily scrum to measure your progress towards meeting those goals. And then in a retrospective, reviewing your goal for the sprint to see how you did and how it aligned. I feel like that's going to help the team not only get better in the framework of the process, but it's going to help us better understand going forward and align the team and what they're doing, the actual work that they're doing, to the anticipated goals of the product owner. And I think that the expansion of the product goal and other things in that updated Scrum Guide, it gives us a new tangible target. It gives us something that makes sense and it realigns what our thoughts are to what the team should be doing. So I think a lot of times the missing part of the bridge is that the product owner feels like they're very good at discussing what needs to be done and they're very good at putting their best foot forward and letting people know, hey, this is what's going to be going on. But I also feel like there's a missing link. And the missing link is that sometimes we don't make the connection between the product owner and their wishes and the team and the execution through the goal. And what we wind up with is a highly motivated team who's excited to build a product or service, but oftentimes it doesn't necessarily meet or align with the values of what we're trying to do. So I feel like the sprint goal is incredibly important and is a huge part of what the sprint backlog should be. But I think that it's important also for us to understand that the sprint backlog is property of the team, of the implementers, and that it's not up to the product owner to discern or to tear apart or to add to. This is simply a tool for the team to understand the work and to break things down into small enough pieces that are consumable. And it's a tool for them to be able to achieve the work and set goals and get to where they need to be. What I can assure you is if you spend a little bit of time formulating a proper sprint backlog and understanding how the sprint backlog works and how it integrates into your framework, you're going to be a lot better off in the long run. So I hope that answers your questions about sprint backlog. It's a simple topic, but it's one that I think we don't spend enough time talking about. So if you have another easy topic or hard topic that you think we should discuss here on a daily stand up, feel free to let us know. You can hit us up at learnmore@agiledad.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.